What's up, everybody? Welcome back. So, the season of Spice might have ended, but the Spice continues on this channel because we're going to kick things off in season 11 of Go Battle League with a double Butterfly team comp, basically a team consisting of Butterfree and Beautifly. Now, just by looking at it, you can say that this isn't the best team out there. Obviously, both Butterfree and Beautifly really struggle against the core meta. But of course, this is the Remix Cup where it's slightly better because you don't have to run into Pokemon like G-Fisk and Azumarill and Altarius, Comedy, Bastiodon, etc. So at least you can get away with some. But yeah, overall, again, you can actually get away with it in some early ranked battles. So there's some fun battles in here, and let's just get straight into it. So moving on to some rank 1 battles, we actually met with the Unova Stunfisk. So it's a good thing we caught that on the lead, and they make a switch into the Meganium. So this is one of the matchups where Beautifly really shines, because this is really a beautiful matchup because everything here is resisted. They actually go for Earthquake, which is definitely not the play because that is triple resisted, whereas Frenzy Plant is only double resisted. But I'm going for the Silver Wind here, trying to fish for the boost right now. And we don't get the boost, that is okay. I'm going to try and farm down the Meganium, but we can live any one move, right, from this range. So I'm going to let this go through here. It is an Earthquake. Probably if they'd gone for Frenzy Plant, this might have been a little close. And that, I guess, tells you how bad Beautifly is. So going for the Silver Wind right now, once again, takes out the Meganium. And I'm trying to go for the Silver Wind, but we get absolutely deleted by a Frost Breath Jinx. So I definitely have to come back with Whiscash here because my Butterfree definitely does not want to go up against a Frost Breath Jinx. But the good thing about this matchup is that Whiscash is going to be able to significantly outpace Jinx, especially because they're running Frost Breath. There's no way they're getting to a charge move in time. So I'm going to be able to get off the back-to-back Mud Bombs here. Even if they shield, I should be able to get the next one off. And hopefully Butterfree can clean up. They still have a Unova Stunfisk in the back. So I think Whiscash with 2 shields should be able to clean up anyways. Back in comes Unova Stunfisk. I'm going to shield this up. Definitely have to invest both shields on Whiscash. And then all I need to do is get off 2 Mud Bombs here. So I'm going to go for the first Mud Bomb right now. I'm probably going to try and switch into the Butterfree to catch a Mud Bomb at some point because I want Butterfree to get some action as well. So I'm going to switch in my Butterfree. Unfortunately, we failed to catch. They hold on to their energy there. And they're going to go for a Discharge, which is going to be super effective. And the good thing about Butterfree is that Butterfree is slightly more tankier, I believe, than Beautifly. So you can at least tank a move. Whereas Beautifly, that thing is just completely useless there. So they just decide to throw another Discharge, knowing that we probably would get to a move. And at this point, this game is over because I can just shield this up. And hopefully they're not at the back-to-back right now. But even if they go for a Mud Bomb, I believe we should survive that from this range because Whiscash is fairly tanky, right? So going to go for the Mud Bomb here. That is going to be taking out the Unova Stunfisk. And that'll take the win for us there. So these was, again, I actually went 5-0 with this team in rank 1, but then again, you run into some interesting Pokemon with some interesting movesets in rank 1, so that's not really a fair depiction of how this team performs. And the reality check kind of starts here. Moving into the next one here, we have a Vigoroth on the lead, so immediately switching into the Butterfree, and then they have a Pidgeot. Now, Pidgeot is literally the worst thing you can see for this team. This thing does well against my entire team, basically. I was hoping to land the Psychic. Unfortunately, they shield that. And even Whiscash, honestly, doesn't have a great matchup against Pidgeot, right? Because it's like all or nothing. You have to go for Blizzard to do some sort of damage. Everything else is double resisted. I'm going to call the Feather Dance Shield Bait, and it is, which is fantastic. And I'm going to try and build up to a Blizzard right now. And unfortunately, they get to another move. I know this is just going to be a Feather Dance, but I do want to preserve some HP on Whiscash. So I am going to commit to Shield here. And then I'm going to go for a Blizzard right now. I'm really hoping this lands because I want to get this Pidgeot out of here as soon as possible. Immediately going to switch in my Butterfree to clear the debuffs. And they have a Wigglytuff in the back. Now, this is the unfortunate thing. Beautifly, unfortunately, gets completely walled because it has 0 coverage moves. I mean, it gets walled by a number of different Pokemon. Because we have only access to bug moves, there's nothing you can do against fairy types. And this game is pretty much over. I decided top left there. And yeah, that's, I guess, the standard procedure when you use this team in the higher ranks. You just have to top left in a lot of situations. But it's okay. At least these are some early rank battles. You can at least afford to get away with some here. So moving into the next one here, we have an Alolan Marowak on the lead. So apologies for the honking there. I mean, there's always a lot of noise in and around this place. But anyways, they're going for the Mud Bombs, that is fine. And then they make a switch into their Rose Raid here. And this is where I make a big mistake. I actually should have come in with my Butterfree instead of Beautifly because Butterfree can do super effective damage with Confusion, whereas Beautifly is only hitting for neutral damage with Infestation and these bug moves, right? They're obviously going to shield the Silver Wind here. And again, you're going to see how glassy Beautifly is because Weather Ball is going to almost one-shot. Look at that. That does about 95% of Beautifly's health. And we end up losing switch advantage on even shields against a Grass type. So if this thing can't match up against a Grass type, I mean, if that doesn't tell you how bad it is, I don't know what else will. I'm definitely shielding up the Butterfree here because I don't want to find out how much Weather Ball does to a Butterfree, because we already found out how much it does to a Beautifly. Obviously, we can tank a Shadow Ball, Shadow Bone, I should say, a little bit better, because Butterfree is just a little bit more tanky. So I'm going to bank a Psychic and then come back with my Whiscash, go immediately for the Mud Bomb and put some pressure on the final shield here. And they do give up a shield. So I'm going to try and get to this next Mud Bomb. Unfortunately, they get to a Shadow Bone. So this is unfortunate because I really needed to preserve the health on my Whiscash. And also we get the defense drop as well. So I'm going to overfarm just a little bit and then go for the Mud Bomb right now. And Mud Bomb is going to take out the Alolan Marowak, and then there's a Registeel in the back. Registeel is one Pokemon that we could have honestly beaten with probably the only Pokemon that we could have beaten, because it's basically applying no pressure with its fast moves, and Whiscash is going to be able to outpace. I'm going to get 2 Mud Bombs here, and at this point immediately switching into my Butterfree and then going for the Psychic right now. So it's a good thing we banked the energy on Butterfree, and Psychic is going to do enough damage to take out the Registeel. So Butterfree, Registeel counter confirmed. But yeah, Whiscash definitely did some heavy lifting in that team comp. I mean, yeah, Whiscash basically is going to carry this team on its back here. Yeah, that's just how it's going to work, especially when you have a team comp like this. So moving into the next one here, we have a Whiscash into a Noctowl. Absolutely terrible once again here. This is just, there's nothing, but they actually make a switch into their Shadow Poliwrath. Now this is a pretty decent matchup for the Butterfree because we're doing super effective damage with Confusion, but I'm going to shield this up because I don't really want to find out how much a Scald from a Shadow Poliwrath would do. I don't know if that would one-shot, but I think it would come close to one-shotting. But I'm going to actually double shield here. This is unfortunate that we're going to have to go down 2 shields, but the good thing about Butterfree is that it's going to put some pressure on the shields of this Noctowl, right? Because we have the energy lead. Psychic is going to do a lot of neutral damage in this matchup. And as you can see, that does a sizable chunk of damage there. I'm going to try and get to the next Psychic, and we're not able to get it. So we just fall just short. I mean, they go for the Sky Attack. That will easily KO. I have to come in with my Whiscash, and they have a Hypno going into my Beautifly. This is supposed to be a good matchup for the Beautifly, but we're not able to get to a move in time. And can we survive a move here? Of course we can't survive a move. That is absolutely terrible. I mean, that thing is just so useless. I'm going to come back with my Whiscash, go for the Blizzard here, but even Whiscash, I mean, there's only so much that Whiscash can do, and I'm going to have to top left here because there's no way we're beating that Noctowl with 2 shields in the back there. So I guess with Beautifly, it should probably just stick to Pokemon contests. I remember watching Gen 3 of the Pokemon anime, and Beautifly was actually really good in the anime. I mean, May used to use it for all her Pokemon contests, but I guess that's where it's supposed to be. It's probably not meant for Pokemon Go battles anyways. Whereas I guess Butterfree Ash used it in some of his gym battles, so it's probably a little bit better. I also used Butterfree honestly earlier on in some of the Halloween Cup battles and also some Holiday Cup battles, and I think it was actually not up. It was definitely not terrible. It definitely had some play in that meta as well. But we met with a Crobat, once again, absolutely terrible. I'm going to no shield the Cross Poison. Luckily, we managed to get a shield with the Mud Bomb, which is really nice. And I'm going to go for the Blizzard right now. I really need this to land because, yeah, of course, they're going to shield that. So I'm going to switch into my Butterfree here. Butterfree has a decent matchup against Crobat because we're doing super effective with Confusion. And they have a Charizard at the back. And to make things worse, we lose CMP as well. So I'm going to have to burn a shield here because I need to get the Psychic off, right? Because Whiscash doesn't really have too much health. And Beautifly is going to get completely walled by Charizard here. So going for the Psychic right now, near one-shots the Charizard. We're going to be able to take it out here. And they have a Seviper in the back. And unfortunately, we're going to actually lose to a Seviper team. I'm not sure what that team comp was about. They had like 2 poison types and a Charizard sandwiched in between. So very interesting for sure, but unfortunately we can't really beat that team either because of how terrible Beautifly is. Gonna come back with Beautifly here. We're gonna farm down, but there's absolutely nothing Beautifly can do against a Crobat. This is where again having the lack of coverage moves really hurts Beautifly. And my only win con here is going for the Silver Wind and hoping for a boost right now. Can we get a boost? We don't get the boost, and this game is pretty much over because this Cross Poison will easily KO, and Beautifly is going to go down to the Crobat here. So definitely Crobat is another really tough Pokemon to see, honestly. I mean, if I had Swampert as one of the Mudboy options, I probably would have used that because that Hydro Cannon is going to put a little bit more pressure on the Flyers, right? You can also use something like Quagsire or Seismitoad, but I believe Whiscash is probably the best Mudboy in the Remix Cup. So met with a Wigglytuff, another kind of a tough matchup this because again my backline doesn't really have a great matchup against Wigglytuff. So I'm going to stay in and go straight for the Blizzard right now. I'm really hoping this lands, and we land the Blizzard. That is absolutely massive. I'm going to immediately switch into my Butterfree and then I'm going to farm down with the Confusion. Apologies if I'm mixing up the Butterfree and Beautifly names. But they actually have a Shadow Tyranitar in the back with Smackdown. That absolutely deletes my Butterfree And I come back with Whiscash. Unfortunately, my switch timer is not back up, and this is where I make a big mistake. I should have actually waited out the switch clock, but I decided to come in immediately. For some reason, I thought that they were switch locked in that matchup as well, but of course they weren't because they let the Wigglytuff go down. And I need to somehow preserve my Whiscash to take out the T-Tar, right? Because again, we have a Beautifly in the back, which definitely does not want to go up against a Smackdown T-Tar. So I'm going to try and bank a Mud Bomb immediately going into my Beautifly here. And they are staying in for some reason. I'm going to have to shield this. But the good thing about Beautifly is that these charge moves are going to hit for super effective against T-Tar. I'm expecting them to switch, and they make a switch into their Tyranitar. I'm going to go straight for the Bug Buzz right now. This is going to do massive super effective damage and one-shot the T-Tar. And then back in comes Lickitung. And then I'm going to try and go for the Silver Wind here. This is probably going to be a CMP tie on the Silver Wind. As it is there, we do a decent chunk of damage and definitely put it into Mud Bomb range. So this is hopefully going to KO. Stomp actually surprisingly doesn't KO there, but we have a Mud Bomb loaded on the Whiscash, and Whiscash is going to be able to come in and then clean up the Lickitung here. So for a change, Beautifly did something useful at least. I mean, I think landing that Bug Buzz on the Tyranitar was pretty impressive there. So overall, kind of a negative set to start off with. I mean, I did go 5-0 when I went from rank 1 to rank 2, but obviously this was slightly more harder battles. And I actually should have stopped using this team, but you know what? I didn't learn my lesson. We're going to continue to do it anyways. Also, it's kind of a bad idea given that this is a season where there's Elo, so if I continue to keep using this team, I'm not going to go too far. But anyways, we're going to do one more set with this team. Met with another Unova Stunfisk here. And they make a switch to their Mandibuzz. Now, what do I do against a Mandibuzz? Really not too much play here. I can't really switch into my Beautifly because those confusions are double resisted. And obviously, beg your pardon, Butterfree. Whereas Beautifly is pretty much useless anyways. Again, apologies if I'm mixing up Beautifly and Butterfree. It's always a little bit confusing. But luckily, we get a shield for the Mud Bomb, which is great. I'm going for the Blizzard right now. Near one-shots. I mean, doesn't quite one-shot. I am going to come in with my Beautifly, and I'm going to let this go through. Let's see how much an Aerial Ace does, right? Aerial Ace does about 80% of Beautifly's health, and I'm going to have to shield this up, and I'm going to try and get to a Silver Wind here. So I'm going to shield up this foul play, trying to get to a Silver Wind, but unfortunately we see the spinning white ball of death. We face a lot of lag and we don't get the move off. I'm going to have to double shield here. This is probably going to end up costing me the game because I really needed that shield advantage. And now they make a switch back into the Unova Stunfisk. My switch timer is not back up yet. So I'm going to have to spam these Silver Winds right now. Again, going for another Silver Wind. Really hoping for an attack boost. Honestly, it doesn't really matter at this point because I'm going to switch anyways. So going for the switch into the Whiscash here. I'm going to try and get to the Mud Bomb right now. We don't have any more shields, so we have to tank this Mud Bomb. And gonna get this Mud Bomb off, and I'm really hoping they no-shield this because, again, Butterfree definitely does not want to go up against a Unova Stunfisk. Luckily, they no-shield that, which is great, and they have their own Whiscash in the back. So this is, again, we do have a win condition, but for some reason, I actually overfarmed by one Mud Shot. I'm not sure why. That was a big misplay on my part. I really needed to get off that Mud Bomb there, so things are definitely not looking good at this point. I'm gonna come in with my Butterfree, and I need to catch the Blizzard on the Beautifly, right? But they throw right away. This is probably just going to be a Mud Bomb, which is triple resisted, which is great. I'm not sure why they're going for Mud Bomb here, which is, I think that opens up a win con for me. And I'm going to try and go for a Psychic right now. And I'm hoping this is just another Mud Bomb here. But it's a Water Pulse. So this again becomes a little bit tricky. I still need to catch right now because they still have a Mandibuzz in the back. I'm going to try and catch. Unfortunately, we failed the catch and this game is pretty much over because Butterfree is not going to be able to get to the back-to-back moves. I'm going to go for the Signal Beam right now and trying to get to the second Signal Beam. Unfortunately, Whiscash is out of move. This is probably going to be another Water Pulse and that's going to take it out. So definitely, I think having that shield in that Mandibuzz matchup, if the game hadn't lagged, probably we could have won that, but I definitely misplayed that a little bit. I should have, if I'd gotten off the Mud Bomb on the Whiscash, then we probably had a win con there. So, I mean, definitely could have won that battle. I kind of threw that game, but yeah, it happens with team comps like this. We have Whiscash into a mirror here. I'm obviously going to stay in, and they make a switch into their Lurantis. So going to come in with my Beautifly right now. Obviously, this is, I think, where Beautifly is better than Butterfree because Infestation is doing super effective damage against pure grass types, and Silver Wind is also going to do super effective damage, right? And everything Lurantis has is resisted by Beautifly, actually double resisted. Superpower is double resisted, Leaf Blade is double resisted, and even if it's double resisted, that still does about 30% of Beautifly's health. And also Lurantis is going to be able to outpace, so we're going to have to let this go through here. So yeah, as you can see, we ended up losing, even though they had to give up a shield, we ended up losing against a grass type, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to cover it in my Butterfree, and then going to try and Psychic farm this thing, Confusion farm it down, I should say. And we can tank a Leaf Blade. I mean, we can tank it definitely much better than Butterfree can. a Beautifly can I should say, and they have a Dragalge in the back. This is perfect. I'm going to be able to get to the Psychic here, and if this gets the shield, I can immediately switch in my Whiscash and go for the Mud Bomb right now. This is, again, both Psychic and Mud Bomb are obviously super effective against Dragalge because of that poison typing, and we take out the Dragalge there, and back in comes Lurantis. Hopefully I can farm down before they can get to a move, and let's see what they have in the back. I mean, of course, they have their own Whiscash at the back, which is running Water Gun, and this game is pretty much over because I can just go straight for the Blizzard, and then I can go for a Mud Bomb, and that's going to be able to take it out there. So I can just safely shield whatever is going to come in. I could go for the BM and no shield, but again, wins are hard to come by with this team. I don't really want to flex at this point. I can just go for the Mud Bomb and pretty much take out the Whiscash here. Not sure if it's going to take it out. Yeah, it is going to take it out there. So again, fortunately, we were able to pull it off there. Again, not the best. Again, I have to say that we didn't go up against, we're not going up against some high-level opponents. I mean, they're obviously not using Pokemon with the best movesets, which kind of makes it easier for this team. But that's fine, too. It's always nice to see interesting Pokemon, and it's just always nice to see stuff that you don't see in the meta usually. We met in the Snorlax in the lead, kind of a neutral matchup this, and again, in neutral matchups, I typically like to go straight for the Blizzard because Snorlax is so extremely tanky that people are not going to shield the first move, and I need the Blizzard to land, and as it does that, it does massive damage. Immediately going to come in with my Butterfree here, I'm going to try and Confusion Farm it down, and we bait out the Alolan Marowak. This is why I like to switch into my Butterfree, because at least it can have some sort of play against an Alolan Marowak. You're at least going to be able to hit neutral and also force the shield, which is really nice. I mean, coming out of this matchup, the shield advantage is a big win for Butterfree because again, they go for Flame Wheel, which is okay. Going to come back with Whiscash, and Whiscash is going to be able to take out the Alolan Marowak. And unfortunately, they sneak an extra fast move through, going for the Mud Bomb here, and then they're probably going to get to another move right now, but I'm going to shield this up. I have to shield this, and I'm probably going to shield and farm down because, yeah, it is a Shadow Ball actually. So that's an interesting moveset. They're running Flame Wheel and Shadow Ball. And they come back with their Superior. I'm going to go into my Beautifly here. Now, this is such a beautiful matchup for Beautifly, but I'm really hoping they don't have Aerial Ace. So going for the Silver Wind right now, this is going to do quite a bit of super effective damage. And then I'm going to try and farm it down with Infestation. And I'm going to actually call it. I'm going to no shield this. And luckily, it's just a Frenzy Plant. So they're probably running the Double Grass moveset of Leaf Tornado and Frenzy Plant. But still, I have to shield, right? Because as you can see, Frenzy Plant did about 30-35% of Beautifly's health. And they come back with their Snorlax. So I'm going to go straight for the Silver Wind here because this is going to force a shield from the Snorlax, as it does there, and then we get the attack and defense boost. Finally, we get a boost. I'm like, we should be able to live this, right? We can tank a Body Slam. No, we don't. But luckily, we have Janitor Whiscash reporting for cleanup duty, and we're going to be able to clean up with Mud Bomb and take out the Snorlax there. So I think Whiscash is definitely going to complain of back pain from carrying this team pretty much. But yeah, I mean, another kind, we mostly took some L's in this set, finished with a 2-3 set once again here. But we still made it rank 4. Honestly, if I keep using teams like these, I won't make it too far. But we're going to try out the Spice picks anyways, especially for the initial few battles. Because now is as good a time as any to try out some interesting Pokemon. Especially in the remix meta, I guess it gives more scope to try out some Spice picks where you don't have to go up against Pokemon like G-Fisk, Azu, Altaria, etc. So some of these fringe picks can at least have some sort of play in the current meta. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to. It does help the channel grow. And if you made it this far into the video, I really appreciate it. And until next time, take care.